Hello, back again on the Top Recap channel. This time I will tell a movie's entitled Face Off. Let's get straight into the storyline. The story begins by showing a man named Sean Archer in an amusement park with his son. At that time, Sean Archer accompanied his son to play one of the rides, but suddenly, he was shot by a terrorist named Castor Troy. It turned out that the shot also hit his son and killed him. Six years later, Archer and his team are tracking Castor Troy's whereabouts. Archer is very frustrated with his team for not finding Castor's location. In another place, Castor was disguised as a priest and installed a time bomb in a building. Archer received information that Castor Troy's younger brother, Pollux Troy, had rented a private jet. Archer immediately rushed because he was sure Pollux must be with Castor. Sure enough, Castor met up with Pollux and boarded the private jet. When the jet took off, Archer and the police came after the jet. It turns out that the flight attendant on the jet was an FBI spy, but she had the bad luck of being taken hostage by Castor and then killed in front of Archer. Archer tried to block the jet using a helicopter and shot one of the jet engines. An upset Castor then shot the pilot, and the plane crashed into a hangar at the airport. The police then surrounded the hangar and tried to arrest Castor, but he and his brother resisted, so a shootout ensued. In short, Pollux was captured by the police, while Castor continued to try to escape and hide in the hangar. The shootout between Archer and Castor was very exciting. They seemed to be evenly matched. When they were facing one another, Castor threatened to blow up one city unless he and his brother were released. But Archer didn't just believe Castor's threat. Castor, who ran out of bullets, tried to attack Archer and was finally hit by a jet and died. After successfully killing Castor, Archer returned home and got into trouble with his daughter, Jamie. He told his wife, Eve, that Castor was finally dead, and they were happy. When Archer walked into his office, everyone there congratulated him. But he is not happy because many of his colleagues also died trying to catch Castor. In his office, Archer reminisces about his son Michael, who was killed 6 years ago, and he closes the Castor case. Not long after Archer's partner gave him a diskette, the diskette was found in Pollux Troy's bag. Inside, there is information about a bomb with great explosive power. Then Archer recalled Castor's threat at the airport. The police also interrogated Pollux to find out about the bomb, but Pollux still doesn't want to say anything about the bomb before seeing his brother. Knowing this, Archer was very upset. Because he was depressed, one of his colleagues invited Archer to go to a hospital. Archer was surprised to see Castor still alive. It turned out that Castor was only in a coma and was currently under medical treatment. His friend then had the idea to temporarily change Archer's face to Castor and his physical form so that Archer could get information about the bomb from Pollux. This is very possible with the technology and medical science there, but Archer laughed and refused. His friend said that if the bomb exploded, Castor would win. Archer was indecisive about what decision he should make. He then tried to interrogate all of Castor's friends and threatened them, including Sasha and Dietrich. But after interrogating everything related to Castor, he only got info on the bomb explosion on the 18th. Archer still doesn't know where the bomb is, and only Pollux knows about it. Archer was then offered again about the face swap operation. His friend said this plan was a covert mission not recorded in the police database. Archer's boss and wife must not know if Archer's face and Castor's are exchanged. This made Archer hesitate because it was very risky, but in the end, Archer was willing to do it. Archer then went home and talked with his wife. They recalled the shooting 6 years ago that had killed Michael. His wife says that things will be better now that Castor is gone, but Archer said it wasn't quite over yet, and he had one very important task to do. His wife is upset and reluctantly allows him to go on the mission. Long story short, Archer is ready to perform the operation, but his friend Tito is worried because this is like a suicide mission. Archer knows the risks, but he will still take them. He also left his wedding ring to Tito. The face swap operation began. After a while, the operation was finally completed, and they transferred Castor's face to Archer's face. They also adjusted Archer's physique to resemble Castor. Archer, who had finally woken up, saw that his face had turned into Castor. He cried and and was very upset when he saw Castor's face. His friend tried to calm him down and said this was only temporary. After they got information about the bomb, they would immediately swap Archer's face back. The doctor also changed his voice by implanting a microchip in his throat, so that Archer's voice now resembles Castor's, and now they have 6 days to find the bomb. Long story short, Archer was taken to prison to meet with Pollux. None of the other FBI friends knew that the Castor in front of them was Archer. Archer was then sent to a prison with a very high level of security. There all inmates wear magnetic shoes. When Archer arrives, all the inmates stare at him, and he finally meets Pollux. But suddenly, one of the inmates attacked him and made a commotion. Archer almost killed the inmate, but the officer managed to stop him. Meanwhile, Castor, who was still lying in the hospital, suddenly woke up from his coma. He realized that he currently had no face, but he could see Archer's face from the room. He then called his friend Lars and said someone had taken his face. Lars then comes to the hospital by holding the surgeon hostage.
I partook in your groovy...
Meanwhile, in prison, Archer, who disguises himself as Castor, can finally talk to Pollux. At first, Pollux suspects Archer and asks several things, but Archer can answer. Then Archer starts talking about the bomb they are planning, and Pollux finally tells him that the location that will be targeted is in the convention center building. After getting information about the bomb's location, Archer thanked him and left Pollux. Meanwhile, in prison, suddenly Archer has a visitor, and it turns out that what comes is Castor, who has been operated on with Archer's face. Archer was very confused because all he knew was that Castor was in a coma. Castor also informed him that the doctors and friends who knew about their face swap had been killed, as well as all the evidence. Castor also wears Archer's wedding ring. This made Archer upset, and almost killed Castor. Fortunately, prison officers came and stopped Archer. Castor, who has changed his face with Archer, returns home and meets Archer's wife. He then teased Eve, but Eve did not suspect that the Archer in front of her was Castor. Meanwhile, Castor finds Archer's diary in the house and meets Archer's daughter. At that time, Jamie felt strange to see his father suddenly smoking, and his attitude also changed. Meanwhile, Archer sees Pollux being released from prison. Pollux also mocked him, and seemed to have realized that his brother was a fake. The prison officer tells him that Archer has made a deal with Pollux, so Pollux is released from prison. Seeing that, Archer was furious, and said he was the real Archer. He also informed them that there was a bomb in the convention center building. However, the prison officers did not believe Archer's words. Long story short, Pollux is taken to Archer's office for interrogation. Not long afterwards, Archer's boss came and found it strange that Archer was making a deal with Pollux. Castor then told Pollux to make a confession about the location of the bomb. After getting the location of the bomb, the police immediately carried out an emergency evacuation at the bomb site. It looks like the bomb disposal team is trying to disable the bomb, but they are very difficult and take hours. Castor then ordered the bomb disposal team to leave the area. When only 2 seconds were left, Castor managed to turn off the bomb. Long story short, Archer was reported in the media as the city's savior. From the news broadcast, Archer fake said that he had won. Archer, who witnessed this from prison, suffered greatly, while Castor enjoyed his fame using Archer's face and identity. Meanwhile, at home, Castor is very romantic with Eve. Once again, Eve is not suspicious of her husband's change. Meanwhile, in prison, Archer figures out how to get out of the place and remove his magnetic shoes. One of the prisoners says that the magnetic shoes are only released when in the prison clinic. Long story short, Archer tries to cause a scene with prison officials. When he was about to be punished with an electric shock, his magnetic shoes were removed by prison officials. Archer also cooperated with other prisoners to escape. A shootout ensued. In short, a big riot ensued in the prison. Archer managed to break the prison system. He then headed for the roof, jumped into the sea, and managed to escape. In another place, when Castor wanted to go to work, he was suddenly prevented by Eve because it turned out that he didn't know that today they had to go to Sun's grave because it was Sun's birthday. Upon arriving at the office, he gets information from his colleague that Castor was killed while escaping from prison, but his body has not been found, so Archer does not believe that Castor is dead. The assumption was correct. It turned out that Archer had survived and managed to steal a car. He then called his wife and told her that her current husband was not her real husband, but Eve didn't believe him and hung up. Archer then visited Castor's friend Dietrich. At that place, he met the other criminals. They welcomed him as if he were the real Castor Troy. Dietrich then gave Castor's gun and belongings to Archer. Archer said he wanted to catch Archer with their help. Then, he intends to operate and remove Archer's face. Meanwhile, at Archer's house, Castor gives Jamie a knife and tells her how to protect herself. Meanwhile, Archer, who is asleep, accidentally calls Eve's name, which makes Sasha upset. Sasha is Castor's lover. Suddenly, Archer woke up and pointed a gun because he was surprised Sasha was beside him. Meanwhile, from a distance, it turns out that Pollux is watching him. Pollux then informed Castor of Archer's location. Not long after, the police arrived and surrounded the place. At that time, Archer learned that Castor had a 5-year-old son from Sasha named Adam, and no one knew about it for fear that someone would hurt the child. Archer then remembered his dead son and called Adam Michael, but suddenly, the police opened fire at the location. Dietrich and others fired back. Archer tried to escape with Sasha while protecting the child. Castor and other FBI agents arrived at the place. A shootout ensued. Dietrich was hit by a shot from Castor while protecting Sasha and her child. Dietrich had to die because he was shot. Luckily, Sasha and her son managed to escape through the back door. A shootout between Archer and Castor ensued. When Archer wanted to escape, Pollux chased him. Not waiting long, Archer immediately killed Pollux. Pollux died instantly in front of Castor. Castor, who saw Pollux die in front of him, became very sad. A policeman who saw the fake Archer crying over Pollux's death felt strange, and Castor shot him. At his office, Castor was in the news for his action in killing several criminals, but he looked sad because Pollux was killed. Not long after, his superiors came and wanted the war against terrorists to be stopped because there were already many casualties on the police side. Castor, who was not happy with his superior's decision, then admitted that he was Castor Troy. He immediately killed his boss in the room. He said that his boss had a heart attack. Meanwhile, Archer desperately broke into his house, which was being guarded by the police, to meet his wife. His wife was scared and wanted to scream, but Archer tried to reassure his wife. He told her that his last mission was to impersonate Castor Troy, and they swapped faces. But Castor suddenly woke up from his coma and impersonated him. To prove his words, Archer told his wife that his blood type was O, and Castor's blood type was AB. Archer then left. The night Eve met her fake husband, she felt very awkward. While sleeping, Eve quietly took Castor's blood sample and checked his blood type at the hospital. The result was AB. Eve was very surprised. Archer came to see Eve, but Eve said that she didn't trust anyone. Archer then told her the memories of the two of them, and Eve finally believed. The next morning, Castor found that his wife was not in the room. Castor and his troops immediately went to Eve at the hospital. At that time, Archer was being treated by Eve. Archer, who found out about this, managed to escape. The next day, Castor and Eve went to the funeral of Victor, Archer's superior. Archer also went to the funeral. They finally met and shot each other. Eve was taken hostage by Castor. While Jamie is being picked up by Castor's men, Sasha suddenly came to Archer's aid. Long story short, they ended up shooting each other. 2 of Castor's men were killed, and Sasha also died protecting Archer. Before dying, Sasha asked Archer to take care of her son. In the middle of the shootout, suddenly, Jamie came. Jamie, who was frightened, tried to escape. Eve then called Archer's partner and told him everything. Jamie, who saw her father being cornered, took and pointed a gun, but Jamie is unsure who to trust. In the end, she shoots Archer for using Castor's face. Then Castor caught Jamie. Jamie then stabbed him with the knife Castor had given her and managed to escape. Castor then escaped to the dock and stole a speedboat. Not wanting to lose Castor, Archer chased him using a speedboat too. Archer, who was still chasing Castor, finally jumped into Castor's speedboat. They fought, and finally, the speedboat crashed into the pier and exploded. They were thrown away, and the fight continued. When cornered, Castor deliberately cut his own face to leave a scar on Archer's face. But in the end, Archer managed to shoot an arrow, which left Castor dead. The police finally arrived at the location and recognized Archer despite using Castor's face. Archer also took back his wedding ring, which Castor had worn. In short, the operation began to restore Archer's face. Archer then went home with his real face and was greeted happily by his wife and daughter. Archer also brought Adam, his son Sasha, for them to take care of, and Eve agreed, and the movie is over. Don't forget to click subscribe, like, and comment.